Welcome, dear learners. My name is Suraj Mashilkar, and today I'm going to take you through the session of cocktails. Cocktails, one of the beautiful topic. Cocktail is a topic which everyone likes to know about. So let's begin with the topic. Before we move on to the session, let's discuss some objectives. The objectives are as follows. First, to describe the meaning of cocktails. Next, to discuss various facts of the cocktails. Next, to list the different components of cocktails. And the last for the day will be to list points to note while making cocktails. Let's start with the first objective, which is what exactly is a cocktail, or just an introduction of cocktail. Now, what is a cocktail? Cocktail is basically a mixed drink having one or more alcoholic drinks in it. These alcoholic drinks usually will be a spirit base with certain flavoring and modifying ingredient in it. The cocktail is made up of certain components in it. All these components together make a particular cocktail. A mixed drinks made without any alcohol is termed as virgin cocktails or mocktails. That's one of the cocktail. Basically, cocktails might be a shorter or a longer drink. Any cocktail that is given in larger quantity are said to be long drinks. These cocktails can be enjoyed while having food. Certain cocktails complement food very well. They enhance the flavor of the food as well. Let's discuss about certain facts of the cocktail. Cocktails and mocktails are mixed drinks that have become more popular since the first quarter of 20th century, which means the 20th century is the time where the cocktails have gained their popularity, and it is gaining more. Cocktails gain its popularity in US, especially during the Prohibition period, as during the Prohibition period, drinking alcoholic beverages was illegal. But people still used to drink cocktails, as it was having certain sweetness in it, not complete alcohol. As we discussed before, a cocktail is a drink which consists of certain components in it. Now, what are components? Components are parts of the cocktail. These components together combine and make a beautiful beverage that we can drink. Let's list these components. The first and the most important component is the base, followed with the modifier. Then what we have is a flavoring, coloring, and a sweetening ingredient. Last but not the least is the garnish. These are the four major components of the cocktail. Now, what is a base? Everything that has to be built is supposed to build on a certain base. Hence, whenever we want to build a cocktail, we need a base. And what is the base? A spirit is the base. Any alcoholic drink that is used in preparing a cocktail is usually known as a base. These bases are spirits. Most cocktails are built around these spirits. If any cocktail has two or more alcoholic drinks, the quantity of the base will be more, which means a drink which is more in quantity will be termed as the base of the cocktail. These are certain examples of the base. Next component is the modifier. These are the complementary ingredient that modifies or enhances the flavor of the cocktail. A spirit, an aromatized wine, a beer, liquor, fresh fruit juice, sodas, eggs, cream, etc. can be termed as a modifier. Without the addition of modifiers, one cannot call a drink as a cocktail or as a mixed drink. It will remain a straight drink. These are certain examples of liqueurs which are used as a modifier. Next component is flavoring, coloring and sweetening ingredient. A drink may have very small quantity of one or more flavoring and or coloring and sweetening ingredient to make it different from other. A component that provides flavor to a particular cocktail, a component that provides a color to a cocktail, a component that has sweetness in it, hence sweetening the particular cocktail, are considered as one of the component. These components can be in a form of a bitters, can be in a form of herb, syrups or essence. These components will be used in a very small quantity like a drop or a dash. Next component, the last component, is the garnish. This component is one of the important component from the appeals point of view, as a garnish will give an eye appeal to that particular cocktail. These garnishes may be standardized garnishes. Most of the drinks have their own standardized garnishes. These garnishes will be a part of the product. Certain garnishes are used as an ingredient plus as a garnish to that particular product. There are certain lists of the garnishes which are very commonly used, in which we have olives, cherry, orange, spirals of orange and lemon peels, lemon wedges. Certain garnishes that are not listed here can also be a part, like a mint spring. Sometimes the garnishes may change the name of the cocktail. For example, a Gibson Martini. Gibson Martini consists of pearl onion, but the recipe of the martini remains the same. Only what happens is the garnish is changed from olives to pearl onions. That's the example. Classic martini with olives, whereas Gibson Martini with pearl onion. Ingredients, class, everything remains the same. Just the garnish changes and automatically the name of that particular cocktail changes. Let's take an example of a cocktail. Cosmopolitan, one of the classic cocktails. There you are. That's the Cosmopolitan. Now, what all are the ingredients in Cosmopolitan? It starts with the first and the most important ingredient, that's vodka. Now, vodka being the spirit, it automatically becomes the base of the cocktail. Next ingredient is cranberry juice. This cranberry juice acts as the coloring ingredient plus a modifier, as cranberry juice also gives a little bit modification to that drink. Next is the lemon juice. Lemon juice is flavoring ingredient. The next ingredient used in making Cosmopolitan is cointreau. Cointreau is a modifier. Cointreau is a liqueur which is orange flavored. This orange flavor liqueur gives a slight hint of orange to that particular cocktail. Hence, this cointreau is termed as a modifier. Next, last but not the least, is the lime slice, which you can see on the cocktail. Obviously, that lime slice is the garnish of the cocktail. So, these are the ingredients and how they play their role in making of a cocktail and how they act as a component. So, the component part of the cocktail is pretty simple. There are 4 components, which includes base, modifier, coloring flavoring ingredient, and garnish. The next objective of cocktails today is points to note while making a cocktail. First, make sure that there is a good supply of clear and clean ice. Ice is one of the major ingredients used while making cocktails, as all cocktails are chilled by using ice. Hence, you need to make sure that the ice that is used is of clear and clean water. So, do not reuse the ice. Once a particular ice is used for making a cocktail, make sure that the ice is disposed. If the same ice is used for another cocktail, it might just change the flavor of the cocktail. Hence, please dispose the ice. Do not touch the ice with hands. Always use scoop or tongue. Whenever an ice is added in a particular cocktail shaker or a mixer or even in the glass, please make use of scoops or tongs. Please avoid using your bare hands. Serve cocktails in chilled glass. Obviously, if a cocktail is chilled, you have to make sure that you serve it in a chilled glass, as the cocktail have a tendency to change flavors if the temperature changes. How that temperature can be maintained is if a particular cocktail is served in a chilled glassware. To avoid spillage, do not fill glass to the brim. Whenever glass has been filled, make sure that you fill it to the right level. Do not overfill the glass, hence avoiding any sort of spillage. Do not overfill the cocktail shaker. If any drink is to be made in a cocktail shaker, please make sure that you use the right quantity of the ingredients, as using excess amount of ingredient might just lead to spillage. Effervescent drinks should never be shaken. Effervescent drinks are those which has CO2 gas in it. And when there is a CO2 gas, these beverages when shaken might just overflow. Hence, whichever cocktail consisting of effervescent drink need to be made sure that is never shaken. Do not leave the prepared cocktail for a longer time. Always, whenever a cocktail is made, make sure that you serve it immediately, as any cocktail stayed longer might just lose its temperature and hence changing the flavor. These are certain points that you need to make sure that you keep in mind while you make a cocktail. And those are the components of the cocktail. These components may together contribute to make a beautiful cocktail. We will understand about how to make a particular cocktail, what are the different methods of making cocktail, and which are the equipments used to make cocktail in the next session. So for now, thank you so very much for listening to me, and please like and subscribe the channel. Also attempt a small quiz related to the topic through the link which is provided in the description of the YouTube video. Thank you so much.